Hi there, y'all. My name is Grace Fox, and I am a sophomore at Columbia University in the city of New York. The first question is, what drew me to matriculate? And to answer that question, I guess a culmination of things drew me to matriculate. Just as a little bit of context, I am from Oklahoma, so what many people consider a flyover state, and I'd have to agree. But yes, with that came overcrowded high schools, 49th ranked in education, and not a lot of hope for me, a low-income student coming from a Native American family, in which higher education was just not really the path for people like me, or that's what I was told at least. And my friend, Yoan, she had advised me that there was this program for students like me that gave them a chance to get out of the state and do greater, because I had always known deep in my heart that I wanted to do more than just stay in the state and succumb to the fate that I was told all my life that was going to happen. And so upon applying for this program, Matriculate, I was matched with an advisor. Her name was Jenna, and she inspired me, loved me, and encouraged me in every way to pursue my dreams, even if that was something as crazy as going to Columbia on a full ride scholarship from the Gates Foundation. So continuing on what I was saying, I just wanted to elaborate on my most memorable Matriculate moment. And I think I would have to say that I was on a bus in Chicago for a high school orchestra trip. It was the first time I had been out of state. I was like, woo, this is cool. And it was the time to open up all my acceptance letters. They came in all on email. I had applied to 15 schools through the help of my advisor. We really emphasized a well-balanced college list, and so I had some in-state, out-of-state, Ivy League, a whole bunch of schools and opportunities for me to pursue. But I remember opening up my letters on a tour bus in Chicago with my advisor on the phone, Jenna, and we nervously opened those letters, and I remember opening up my Columbia letter. And I had gotten a likely letter a couple months beforehand, but I didn't want to get hope in something that I wasn't for sure on. But when I opened that letter and I saw, congratulations, we're here to offer you a place of acceptance at Columbia, I screamed and I cried and I made a fool of myself on that tour bus. But at the same time, my advisor cried with me, she laughed with me, and she was so proud of me. And I think that was my best Matriculate moment, was knowing that all the hard work that I had worked with Jenna, and I had worked with the Matriculate curriculum, and I had worked so hard for during high school, was finally paying off in this glorious moment that I was incredibly joyous to be experiencing. And so yeah, I would have to say that without Matriculate, I would not have pursued the opportunity to go to Columbia, or I would not have applied to the Gates Scholarship and gotten a full ride to my university. And without Matriculate, I would have not had the hope and the encouragement to really pursue my dreams and find a home in New York City. So after becoming really inspired by my own advisor and my own success through Matriculate, I knew that the first thing I wanted to do when I would get to Columbia is sign up to be an advisor for Matriculate. I had been a high school fellow, and I knew that gave me a unique experience to pursue being an advising fellow, in which I would be paired with my own high school students and give them the opportunities that my advisor had given me. And so with my advising, I went through a whole bunch of rigorous training, as did the 200 other students at Columbia, proud to be part of the biggest cohort in Matriculate history. And with that came a lot of learning in how to advise my students in the best way possible. So I would say that 3 words to describe my approach to advising are empathetic, flexible, and determined. When my students came into the program, many of them were really nervous, just as I had been, and really unconfident in their ability to pursue higher education. Many of them were first-generation low-income students who were really pursuing this idea of college because they had always dreamed and been encouraged by their parents to go. And with that, my empathy and my determination to show them that they were exactly in the place that they needed to be and that they were welcomed and desired at these universities was just a really foundational experience to my advising. skills, as well as this idea of flexibility. Of course, with moving online, everything online this year during the COVID-19 pandemic, things have been a little bit crazy. And I am super glad that I was part of Matriculate and had the opportunity to participate in online activities and online advising previous to the outbreak. And so I would definitely say flexibility is also a really, really big success and skill that I have learned being an advisor. What have I learned within Matriculate that I will carry through the rest of my life? And to answer that question, I think I would definitely have to say communication skills. Within training for Matriculate and being a student being served by Matriculate, I learned quick on how to express my needs, my wants, my desires, and my hopes for a better educational future. And I think within being trained as an advisor, I learned how to properly communicate with students, with staff, and with people who were just unconfident in where they were, and how to uplift individuals and how to make them feel comfortable in sharing their experiences with me, as well as just creating a discourse in which everybody could be safe and happy and learn and grow from. And I think that's an experience that I greatly cherish and I have implemented within my classroom, within my studies, within internships, jobs, and even my family life. The next question I will be answering is, what defines the Matriculate community for me? And for me, I personally would have to say this idea of community, of empathy, of excitement, and of passion for serving underprivileged students and working towards this goal of educational equity is what really, really binds me and all of my fellow advisors together, as well as the wonderful Matriculate headquarters staff, which we would not be here without. And so with those aspects, I think those are really important in creating such a well-rounded and tight-knit community that we all share our stories, our successes, our failures, and it's just a really wonderful community in which I feel safe expressing myself, in which I know so many others are feeling safe expressing themselves, and we can all work towards this goal of serving our students and making the world a little bit better for students who had once been like us and giving back.